Welcome to Leverton on Everything. I'm Leverton and I review literally everything musicians, documentaries about music, aloe plants, basil and mint plants, cartons, whatever. Literally everything. That's the first rule. Second rule is that every review that I do is under 10 minutes, starting from the moment when I talk about the thing, which is now. And today I'm going to be reviewing the documentary, the other one, The Strange Trip of Bob Weir. And if you don't know Bob Weir, he was the rhythm guitarist of the Grateful Dead. And if you don't know what the Grateful Dead were, they were a famous rock band, and but they were famous not because they had, hit singles, although they did have a few hit singles. It was more like they were famous for being a jam band, and people would follow them around the tour. So their lives would just focus on going from one concert to another concert to another concert. And later in the 90s, I think that there were bands that tried to replicate that, like Fish, but this is the first band like that. And they were led by this guy and Jerry Garcia. And Jerry Garcia died, I think, 20 years ago from a heart attack or something like that. Um, and so this documentary is all about Bob and Bob's contribution to the Grateful Dead. And there is some interesting things, interesting stories he tells, like how they were like a jam band and they got gigs at strip clubs or topless joints, he says, and basically the women who were working there did not like them very much because most bands, their songs would be like 2, 3 minutes. And it's easier to dance to a song that's 2 or 3 minutes, but their songs would be like 15 minutes. So I think they had a point there in terms of professionalism. But I, a lot of times these documentaries don't make much of an impression on me, and I struggle to remember what happened after I watched them, a week after. And this one, I watched the trailer, but I really remember I did not like him very much. I thought that he was a bit pretentious. So I didn't like him as a person, so I didn't like the documentary. And I think the it's impossible, but I think a documentary with Jerry Garcia would have the potential to be more interesting because I think he was the more interesting person in that duo. So maybe that's not fair to Bob Weir. And it's not like, because he has a tendency to say things like, pride. I don't trust pride because pride has depths. And it's like, okay, I think you may have done too much acid. And that's not to say that Jerry Garcia would be any better if he was alive. I just think that he might be. He might have been. I don't really know. So would I recommend this? No. If you are a fan of the Grateful Dead, sure, but you probably already watched it, so you don't need my recommendation. One thing I would recommend is my son's podcast, the Everything and More Etc. podcast, which you can find on Spotify, Amazon, and Apple, and other places. Check it out. It's great. He reviews in much longer detail animated series in his first season. Thanks and bye.